Hey everybody, Mac to Monster, back with Diablo 3, and this time my Crusader is up on the chopping block, and she's probably my least geared character, so the grift's not going to be too high, and the grift level I've been able to reach is only 36, so not the greatest. I've been going back and forth between Shield Bash and Sweep Attack. I don't have the gear for Sweep Attack, basically the Golden Fleece, even though I got an Ancient Denial, which is pretty nice. So I've been kind of sticking with Shield Bash because Shield Bash is really the entry-level build, and it's easy to get because all you have to do is craft a shield and hope for a bracer. So going right to the gear, this is what I got. I actually got a Blade of Prophecy, which builds up a Condemn build, and it's ancient. However, I don't have any of the Akan's gear to support it, or the cooldown reduction to make that work. But it's also the best weapon I've got, so I'm sticking with the Blade of Prophecy for a weapon. And like I said, it's ancient, so I got 10% damage on it, 1395 strength, and reduced the cooldown of all skills by 6%. It would have been nicer if it was 10%, but it wasn't. There's also got a nice secondary of 2.4% chance to mobilize on hit, and 2 condemned enemies also trigger condemned explosions. It's got 130% crit hit gem on it. It's pretty nice. Now the shield I was talking about is the Puro Marella, and it's a legendary Crusader shield. I haven't been able to craft an ancient one. I don't know why. It just doesn't happen for me. This one's not too terrible. It's got a 19% chance to block, 629 vitality, 8.5% crit chance, 1258 life per wrath spent, and increased the shield bash damage by 14%, 7 maximum wrath, and reduces the wrath cost of shield bash by 49%. So that's really the big thing right there, and you can craft this at the crafter. Backing it up is a bracer that I was talking about, which is Dakon's Lesson. And this didn't roll ancient either. But I did get the physical skills deal 20% more damage, because we're going to use a physical shield bash. 497 strength, 433 vitality, and 4.5% crit chance. So this went alright. And then when your shield bash hits 3 or fewer enemies, its damage is increased by 157%, and 25% of its wrath cost is refunded, again making it cheaper to use. And this is also have 159 cold resistance as a secondary, so it's an okay bracer. Now for rings, I'm using an Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac. The reason I'm using that is to get my cooldowns all in line faster, and basically to get my Akarat's Champion that much quicker going, because I'm using rolling set instead of a con set. I find it works pretty good. For a little bit of a sacrifice of DPS, I get my cooldowns that much quicker. And I kind of need the cooldowns. So if you're doing a sweep attack without the golden flens and you're looking for a way to get your cooldowns up again, the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac is pretty good for it. And it's got 6% attack speed, 5.5% crit chance, and reduces all resource costs by 8%. It's kind of a shabby one, but it's still an Obsidian Ring. It's got 147 lightning resist on it, which is a nice secondary, but also reduces the remaining cooldown of one of your skills by 1 second when you hit with a resource spending attack. And we're always hitting with a resource spending attack, so that happens. The other ring is a Convention of Elements. It's kind of a standard ring nowadays. 465 strength, 46% crit hit damage, 4.5% crit chance, 195% increased damage to a single element for 4 seconds. This effect rotates through the elements, so it's a pretty nice thing to have. I got a Witching Hour on. Like I said, I was going back and forth between sweep attack and shield bash, so this is more for the sweep attack build. 497 strength, attack speed 6%, 10% life, and critical hit damage of 41%. 150 poison resistance as a secondary is pretty nice. And then I also have the Eye of Etlich. I like this because in the Roland set, everything that looks at you kills you. So in the higher grifts, the only way I got to the higher grifts is going a little bit defensive. This again is set more for the sweep attack because I was doing lightning. This has lightning skills, deal 16% more damage, 715 strength, and 10% critical hit chance. And this reduces the damage from range attacks by 31.9%. So that's pretty cool right there. And then for the Roland's gear I have, the set, every use of shield bash and sweep attack reduces the cooldown of your laws and defensive skills by 1 second. The 4-piece increases the damage of shield bash and sweep attack by 500%. And the 6-piece, every use of shield bash or sweep attack that hits an enemy grants 30% increased attack speed for 3 seconds. 3 seconds. This effect stacks up to 5 times. So that's why we're kind of rocking with Roland's here. And then my Roland's boots, it's 439 strength, 460 vitality, 93 resist all, increased shield bash damage by 14%. My Roland's pants, determination, 465 strength, 482 vitality, 91 resist all, 280 strength gems in there. My Roland's grasp, not trifecta, 690 strength, 736 vitality, 10 crit chance, 48 critical damage, not too shabby. My Roland's bearing, chest piece, 435 strength, 496 vitality, 94 resist all, and reduces damage from range attacks by 7% also. It's got 3 280 strength gems. My Roland shoulders, 493 strength, 484 vitality, 96% or 96 resist all, and a chance to deal 12% area damage. And then Roland's visage, the helm, 661 strength, 693 vitality, 5.5% crit chance, with 156 fire resistance as a secondary. This one's got a cooldown reduction gem in there, the diamond. So cooldown reduction I obviously find highly useful with this build. For gems, I got a Bane of the Trapped in there, obviously, 27% damage to anyone under control impairing effect. It also gives me the aura, which gives me a control impairing effect. Seeing I'm always melee, the aura is always on. I'm using a mutilation guard, 22.5% melee damage reduction. While below 30% life, you may move unhindered through enemies. And I'm also using an esoteric alteration, gain 26.5% non-physical damage reduction. While below half-life, your resistances to cold, fire, lightning, and poison and arcane are increased by 75%. So, a little bit defensive on the gems. And that's what I'm doing. Skill-wise, it's real easy to set up. Shield bash, pound. You want to hit 3 or less enemies, basically, and you want to hit them as hard as possible. So pound hits the least amount, and the range is reduced to 8 yards. And it hits hard, as hits like a truck. 1,320% weapon damage plus 500% of your shield block as damage. It's phenomenal. I got Steed Charge, Draw and Quarter. I was playing with friends, so I put Draw and Quarter. Endurance is probably better solo. I got Law of Valor, Unstoppable Force. This gives you 15% attack speed when you activate it, and reducing the wrath cost of all skills by 50%. I got Shield Glare, Zealous Glare. This gains 9 wrath for every enemy blinded, and it blinds all enemies with up to 30 yards in front of you for 4 seconds. I got Condemn Vacuum. This builds up a massive explosion, unleashing it after 3 seconds, dealing 1160 weapon damage as wholly to all enemies within 15 yards. I have the Condemned Sword, which is why I'm running Condemned. You could just as easily run Provoke, charged up by like an Akarat's Champion, Embodiment of Power. You explode with the power of your order, increasing your damage by 35% and your Wrath regeneration by 10 for 20 seconds. Obviously, this is built all around increasing Wrath. I got Indestructible, which basically you come back to life. You're immune to damage. You gain 35% increased damage and 107,284 life per kill for 5 seconds. You can do that once every minute. Heavenly Strength, so I can wield the two-handed weapon in one hand. Your damage is reduced by 20%. I got Holy Cause, the amount of damage reduced or dealt by your weapons increased by 10%, and whatever you deal holy damage, you gain 1% of your life. And then I got Finery, 1.5% strength for every gem in your socket. Socketed in your gear. I go with that because, well, I got 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 gems socketed. So it's a lot of strength. Anyway, so I got a level 30 Grift to go ahead and do. Not too high, I know, but it's what I can do. Efficiently, anyways. Like I said, a level 36 is the highest I did. And that was actually with a sweep attack run. I'm not actually sure the highest on the Shield Bash, so I just switched back to it. These Fat Man explosions always get me, so you gotta watch out for those when you're this close. That's about the worst condition you can have as a Shield Bash player. Huge groups of enemies are not your friends. Oh, they got me. this shield. Shouldn't have clicked it, but we can let it run down. So one thing bad about this build is you're constantly clicking. So all these pylons I definitely don't mean to be clicking on. Well, the easy part. Best part of the shield bash. It's a little bit hard to get through the trash, but the RG is so easy. I think the level 30 was a little too low. It probably should have done like a 33 like that I just got, but I didn't have one. When I trialed it, I got a 30. So, that's the shield bash. That's my Crusader. Not the greatest, but it's what I was able to get. I don't know. The gods weren't kind to him. What are you going to do? So, hope it helps. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to everybody real soon.